Par, E-R-Y-T. You can normally find me every Wednesday night teaching Empower Yoga at the Wauwatosa, Wisconsin Athletic Club. Today, I'll be sharing with you a restorative yoga practice teamed with a meditation themed to fun. So we're going to look for the enjoyment of every present moment. We're going to meditate and really own in on that idea of having fun and just joy in every moment. And we'll move through a fun yoga practice and some very restorative reclined yoga poses. So you'll get a good work, you'll get some blood flow, and you'll get a good stretch and some relaxing yoga poses, and of course a great Shavasana. So thank you for pressing play. Thank you for tuning into this yoga session for the Move at Home series at the Wisconsin Athletic Club. Today I have just a couple prompts. We may use some bricks. Depending on how deep you want to go into some poses, you may choose to use some bricks. We're going to get restorative, so I've got a few fluffy pillows, have blankets or pillows, or I've got a bolster. I may be using a bolster as well today. Those are some props that you might want to gather, some things somewhat like that. Blocks can easily be replaced with books or shoe boxes. And then also have some water. Have something to hydrate yourself throughout the practice. So again, thank you for being here. Find these props, find a space in your house to lay out your yoga mat, and we'll come to a comfortable sitting posture. So before we meditate, let's just take an awareness. Let's just bring the attention inward and take inventory, scan the body, and identify what you have, what you're bringing to the mat today, and what really defines your present moment. So find a comfortable sitting posture. It doesn't need to be any specific pose, but just find yourself sitting comfortably. And when you're there, you can close your eyes and you can scan the body. Just as if you were scanning the body like a photocopier, from the crown of the head down to the soles of your feet, identifying every awareness, every sensation of your body. And naturally, as you begin to scan your body, as you begin to tune in, thoughts may populate. You may feel the urge to follow those thoughts and dive deep into some dreams or memories. But right now, keep everything on the surface. Be aware when you find yourself drifting away toward your thoughts, and bring yourself back to the present state of awareness, your internal awareness. So once again, you're just paying attention to the awarenesses of your present moment. This is the scanning from the crown of the head down through your entire body until you reach the soles of your feet. Paying attention to what feels comfortable and what might feel uncomfortable. Take a moment and just witness your breath. Witness yourself breathing in, breathing out. Notice how that breath feels as it moves in and out of your body. Kind of like a wave nourishing your body, inhaling and exhaling, that constant movement. Bring your attention back to your mind. And again, witnessing the chitta vritti, the yoga, constant flow of forms in your mind. Paying attention to anything that populates into your mind. Fully aware of how you feel. Take a moment, stepping aside from your meditation for a moment, and recall a moment in your life that you felt happy. Reflect on a happy moment in your life, and then just begin to peel away some of the layers of what cultivated that happiness. What was that that root of the happiness. And maybe it was the ability to release, or the ability to be carefree, blissful. Slowly bring yourself back to your meditation, back to the internal state of awareness. And look for that similarity of the happiness, the root of your happiness, and find that it still exists deep within you. There's still an aspect of happiness and joy and fun in every present moment. Start to use the pranayama ujjayi breath. So staying just as you are. If you haven't yet, maybe you might move into a lotus pose by crossing up the ankles. If you've been in lotus pose with me this entire time, maybe switch the feet so you're balancing your hip stretch. Moving back into that internal state of awareness, eyes can close, and we'll start to use a pranayama ujjayi breath. So lifting the back of the throat, lifting the epiglottis. You're just going to sip the breath in through your nose. Draw the breath into the back of the throat and into the diaphragm. Feel the space below your rib cage inflate on your inhale. Feel it deflate on your exhale. Let there be a hissing sound as you inhale and exhale. And this is your pranayama ujjayi breath. Use this pranayama ujjayi breath just with a natural flow of your own breath. If you found yourself having a thought, dream, or a memory, just be aware of it and let those things drift away. Let's take 3 more breaths in your meditation. And then open your eyes on your next inhale. Release everything on your exhale. Let's inhale and begin to move. We'll inhale and sweep the arms up high. And exhale, just float the arms back down. Let's walk your hands all the way forward, as far forward as they'll go, and give yourself a forward fold. On your exhale, walk your hands back towards you. Take an inhale with your hands behind you and give yourself a tiny back bend. Heels of the hands plant down. Fingertips point away from you. Your shoulders are peeling back. And as you exhale, bring yourself back to a neutral spine. Let's go in for a side stretch. Plant the heel of the left hand. Sweep the right arm overhead. Deep inhale. Amplify into the right side of your body. As you exhale, float the right hand back down. The heel of the right hand touches down. The left arm overhead. A deep inhale into the left side of your body, and as you exhale, float that left arm back down. Roll the shoulders up to your ears, peel them back behind you, and float them down. And do that rotation a few more times, searching for the full range of motion for your shoulders. How big can you make those circles? One more giant circle with your shoulders up to your ears, all the way back and down. Let's take the hands to the knees and just float through a clockwise motion, just waking up through the core, drawing a circle around your seat with your shoulders. Bring it back to 12 o'clock, all the way forward, and then go in a counterclockwise motion. slow down in any areas that are sticky, that just require a little extra attention. And then bring it back to a neutral sitting posture. Let's walk up onto hands and knees. Plant the hands below the shoulders and knees, below the hips. We'll just move in through Chakravarkasana a few times. So exhaling as you drop the tailbone, drop the crown of the head, round your spine, cat pose, Balasana. Inhale, Bidalasana into your cow pose. Tilt the pelvis forward, shoulders peel back, heart is open. Exhale as you round. Inhale to arch. Exhale again as you round. Using the flow of your breath to guide you through the full expression of the movement. Okay, so we're going to open our hips today. We're going to have a fun yoga practice. Let's curl the toes under and just meet up in downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take your time getting comfortable. It always helps to pedal your feet. So bending, alternating knees as you reach the heels closer to the mat behind you. Your feet are at hip distance. Hands may just be a little wider than shoulder distance, so your thumbs are really at shoulder distance. And then find a comfortable stretch for your legs in your downward facing dog. And that might mean you keep a little bend in your knees, and that's perfectly fine. You're planting down the space between your index fingers and thumbs. You have a tiny little bend in your elbows so that the eyes of your elbows point in and you're not locking your arms. Shoulders roll up and away from your ears. And you gaze up between your thighs. Enjoy a breath in your perfect posture. This should feel like an inverted V, not an inverted U. You want to point the sits bones high as you tuck the tailbone down. So we're going to flow. Let's plant the left foot and inhale, lift the right leg high. Start to spin the right hip over your left, planting that left foot, peeling the right hip open. So based on how available you are in your hips right now, you can stay right here. Or you can bend the right knee and start to drape the right foot behind you. It's up to you how far you want to go in this pose. If you're looking for a little bit more, you can gaze under your left arm. If you can see your right foot, you can gracefully drop that right foot down behind you, and we're moving into belly of the dragon. You're reaching through the right arm. The right knee is at a 90-degree angle. Your left leg is super straight. Take a deep inhale. No matter where you are in this pose, we're going to transition back into three-legged dog. So find your footing with your left foot, drop the right arm, keep the right leg high, and we're going to transition into gate pose. So drop down to your left knee and sweep that right foot all the way outright. Be mindful of your props if you're a little cluttered like me. That right leg all the way outright. Crawl up onto your hands. Walk your hands over to the left. Right leg is very long. Hands are over to the left. We're going to lead the right hand and curl up. And take that right hand, the right leg. Sweep your left arm overhead for your gate pose. Get a good side stretch here. And exhale. Drop that left arm back over. Sweep the right arm over for your counter stretch. And then walk your hands all the way forward. Keep that right leg outright as we move into a modified Balasana. Come down low. Right leg is still long. Stamp the hands at the front of the mat. Curl the left toes under. And exhale as you lower the right leg. Plant the right foot. Inhale as you lift your left leg high. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to peel that left hip open. And as soon as it's available, if it's available, you bend the left knee and you start to open that left hip. Just gracefully dangling the left toes down behind you. If it's available, maybe you're going to gaze onto that right arm. Take a look at your left heel. If you can glance at that left heel, you might be able to just drift that left foot down to the mat. So you're on the toes of your left foot. Left knee is bent. The right leg is super straight. You're resting on the outside of the right foot. You're reaching through the left arm for your belly of the dragon. And we're going to move back into your three-legged dog. So find the footing with that right foot. Sweep your left leg high, three-legged dog. Now we're going to move back into gate pose. So drop down to the right knee and sweep your left leg out left. Being mindful of your props. Walking your hands over to the right side. Peel the left hip back, sweep the left arm overhead, and float up into your gate pose. Left arm to the left leg. Right arm overhead. Enjoy the stretch. Take a full inhale. Complete exhale. And let's cartwheel back down. Get a good side stretch there as you walk your hands forward and float back into Balasana, child's pose. Enjoying Balasana, the length for your lumbar spine, great stretch for your spine. And then the left leg gets a little introduction to a stretch. Coming up out of the pose, curl the right toes under. Lift that left leg high, completing our sequence. Left foot meets the mat. Drop both knees to the mat, moving into your traditional Balasana child's pose. So your hands are out forward in front of you. Release all of the muscles of your core. The forehead touches the mat. Feel free to take a drink of water right now. And we're in Balasana. Let's meet in Balasana in just a second. Meet me in downward facing dog. Curl your toes under. Find that perfect Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And let's plant the right foot. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Peel your left hip open. You'll stay right here. Or you can bend your left knee. If it's available, you can float right back into your belly of the dragon. Deep inhale. Exhale back into three-legged dog. Exhale, everyone drops down to that right knee. And let's sweep that left leg out left. Walk the hands over right. Find that good side stretch, reaching your left arm overhead. Cartwheel up into your gate pose. Right arm overhead, deep inhale here. And exhale as you float back out. Get a side stretch while you're there. Walk your hands back forward. Here's your Balasana. Let's add an elbow dog. Plant the elbows on the mat. Curl the right toes under. Inhale as you sweep that left leg high. And exhale, left toes meet the mat. Bend the knees a lot. Bring your knees to the mat. Balasana, child's pose. Take 2 breaths, just rinsing this out. Coming out of the pose. Plant both hands. Come back to your Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Plant that left foot. Inhale, lift the right. Make your decision. You stay right here. Or you start to bend the right knee. Maybe if you'd like, you move into belly of the dragon. Deep inhale. Exhale, three-legged dog. Right hand down, right leg high. Exhale, bend the left knee. Drop down to your left knee. sweep that right hand, right foot all the way out right. Cartwheeling up, starting with a stretch for that right side. All the way up. Right hand to your right leg, left arm overhead. Deep inhale. And exhale. Cartwheel back down. Go into your balasana. And only if you want to, you can sweep it up to elbow dog. You're going to curl the left toes under. Inhale that right leg high. And exhale. Balasana, good work. Downward or balasana, your child's pose. Take about 5 breaths. Take a drink of water if you need to. That is the last downward facing dog sequence. So take a drink of water if you haven't yet. And let's move up into plank pose. Curl your toes under. Just meet me in plank. And let's soak back into that internal state of awareness. Tucking your tailbone down to your heels. Feeling some isometric energy between your biceps and triceps. Like you're trying to just draw your hands closer together on the mat. See if you can draw the navel in, draw the rib cage in. And now hover your heart forward, tuck your elbows into your rib cage, keep the tailbone long as you lengthen all the way down, lowering all the way down. And here we'll move into Cobra. So before we actually make any movement, we're gonna just think through the isometric movements of Cobra. So plant the hands below the shoulders. Activate the legs so much that the knees don't touch the mat. The knees are buoyantly lifted off of the mat. The tops of the feet are planting into the mat. Draw the tailbone down long. And without making any movements, think about peeling the shoulders back without actually pressing your hands into the mat. Engage the core so much, like you're dropping your tailbone down, you're drawing your rib cage in. Legs are very active. And this is the correct foundation of your Cobra pose. Now let's take a slow Cobra. Planting the hands down, shoulders peel back. A deep inhale as you just gently lift. Your elbows are pointing behind you. Exhale, lower back down. Do that again on your inhale. Shoulders peel back, your heart blossoms up to the sky. Knees are lifted off of the mat. Tops of the feet press firmly into the mat. Exhale as you lower back down. Last one, inhale. Shoulders peel back, dropping that tailbone really far down into the mat. And exhale, lower back down. So take your hands outside of the mat, just a few inches outside of the mat, and step on fingertips. The same lock happens in the lower end of your body. So you're pressing your feet down into the mat, every toenail pressing into the mat. Tailbone is down long. And release your shoulders a little bit. Let's peel the shoulders back and then inhale into your Cobra. Exhale, lower back down. This time, mind, body connect with all of the muscles making this possible. Inhale, rising up into your Cobra. Exhale as you lower down. Last one, inhale. Shoulders peel up back, heart opens. Exhale, lower back down. Let's take a frontal corpse. Perhaps you have a pillow handy, or perhaps you just plant the palms of your hands one on top of the other. Internally rotate your toes, so your big toes point toward each other, and then rest one of your cheeks. Rest a cheek on your stacked hands or your pillow. You're working your muscles of respiration. As you inhale, you feel your body rise up. As you exhale, you feel your body melting into the mat. Pay attention to your breath, and just take 2 more breaths in your frontal corpse. Let's come out of the pose. We're gonna move into 2 more variations of cobra. So plant the palms of your hands down. Let's inhale, rise up to your perfect cobra, you just mastered it, and then peel the right hip off the mat and touch the right toes behind your left leg. Lengthen that right leg and lower the right hip back down to the mat. Let's do it on the other side. We're gonna inhale into cobra. We're gonna bend that left knee, left toes touch down behind you on the mat or on the floor outside of your mat. Lower that left hip down on your exhale. Try it again. Lifting the right leg on your cobra, tapping the toes behind you, lowering the right leg all the way back down to the mat. Inhale, cobra, tapping the left foot out to the right, and exhaling as you lower back down. Inhaling, cobra, right toes tap behind your left leg. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, tap the left toes behind the right. Do 2 more at your own pace. Good work. 1 more cobra sequence. Here we go. We're going to move into your cobra, inhaling, lifting up. This time take your left leg and tap your left knee outside of the mat and lengthen it back down. Lower all the way down on your exhale. Inhale to rise up. The right knee taps on the outside of the mat. Exhale as you lengthen and lower all the way back down. Inhale, left side. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right side. Exhale, lower. Do 3 more at your own pace. Good work. Take yourself back into your balasana, child's pose. Knees can be out to the width of the mat, hips over your heels, long arms in front of you. Okay, take a drink of water if you need it, and we're going to move into Natarajasana. Find yourself standing on the mat. Perhaps you've realized we've done a few back bends in this class so far, so we're going to do some nice restorative forward folds. So find yourself, we're going to move into a balanced pose as kind of the introduction of a back bend. So a few modifications. Perhaps maybe you have a wall nearby. You can easily rest a hand on a wall if you need to for balance. Natarajasana is king of the dancer or lord of the dancer, dancer pose. And we'll start by planting the left foot into the mat. So I always encourage you to create a really good foundation for that standing leg. So think about lifting the toes, spreading the toes like peacock feathers, and then pressing them firmly into the mat. Feel the inner and outer heel of that left foot planting into the mat. And then taking your left hand to the hip, take the right hand to the knee. This is just flamingo pose. So you can stay right here. This feels like a good challenge for you. Stay right here in flamingo pose. If it's available, you'll sweep that right hand down the left shin and take an internal catch of that right foot. So I'm catching the inside of the right foot. My thumb touches the ball of my right foot. And now you'll start to press the top of the right foot into the right hand until you get a good introduction to a back bend. You'll start to hinge at your left hip, and then you can raise that left arm to keep your heart open. And if you bow forward, that right leg lifts higher. Find a drishti, find a focal point for your eyes. Take a deep inhale. Let's exhale, come out of Natarajasana, come out of your dancer pose. Let both feet meet the mat. Find your feet at hip distance and parallel, and take a breath, standing in mountain pose. Search for equal balance. Finding equal balance from the left to the right side of your body. Let's plant that right foot into the mat. Spread your toes. The entire circumference of that right foot pressing into the mat. Right hand to the hip, left hand to your left knee. And here you are in flamingo pose. You can stay right here, or you can sweep that left hand down the shin. And again, catch the, sorry, I'm using my prop. Catch the inside of your left foot on the mat, on the foot, left hand to the left foot. You'll press that left foot into the left hand. And as soon as it's available, you can reach that right arm. This is a back bend pose. So if you start to forward fold as you hinge at that right hip, reach that right arm higher. Keep a tiny bend in the right knee. Eye on your drishti. Take a deep inhale and exhale. We're coming out of the pose. Stand at feet at hip distance. Close your eyes. Samastitihi, Sanskrit for equal balance. Finding balance on both feet. Good work. Let's open the eyes. Let's come down to sitting. Let's cross your ankles and come down. Cross the right foot in front of your left. Come down to sitting. And let's situate that right foot to the right hip. Let's stack. I'm sorry, that was wrong. Left foot to the right hip and stack the right knee on top of your left. So we're going to move into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So this might be a good enough stretch. You can modify this pose if you need to. You could sit on a block. If this is really uncomfortable, try sitting on a block and you'll notice it's taking a little bit of the tension out of the hips. That might be available for you. If you're feeling comfortable, stay right here. Now let's take another variation of this pose. So I don't actually have a strap handy, my apologies. But if you happen to have like a scarf or a towel handy, you can sweep the right arm up high and bend at the elbow, take the right hand between your shoulder blades. Perhaps you're holding a strap, you can just drape the strap down behind you. Your left arm will reach up and catch the scarf, and I happen to be able to touch my fingertips together, so if that's available for you too, you can grab your hands behind you. And we're going to exhale and just bow, just adding a little extra work for the hips in Gomukhasana. And let's inhale and windmill the arms back out. If you're holding a strap, you can put the strap down for now. And we're going to come out of this pose and move to the other side. So you can just easily rock back, situate that right heel to your left hip, and you're stacking your left knee on top of the right this time. Moving into Gomukhasana on this side. So again, you can sit on a block. Just take a moment to settle into this pose. If you're feeling any tension in the knees or the hips, sit on a blanket or a pillow or a block. See if that elevation of your hips will take a little bit of the intensity out of your hips and knees. Enjoy your breath. And then again, if you wanted to enhance the pose, maybe you've got a strap, you can just drape the strap down behind you. You're going to bend at your left elbow. The right hand can reach up and grab that same strap, cinching up the strap, or maybe catching your hands behind you. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to hinge forward, enjoying a amplification for this stretch. pose, unwind your arms. Walk your hands behind you to unwind your legs. Let's have I'm gonna use my bolster here, but you can easily grab just a few blankets. I might actually stack a bolster on top of the blanket. So we're gonna move into half saddle. So like me, be at the front of your mat. And like I mentioned, I'm just gonna place props that look like this. So I've got, you know, a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, it could be like a couch cushion or something really fluffy, maybe 2 pillows or 3 pillows. And we're gonna sit in front of this this little creation we made. Let's start with our left leg bent. So bend your left knee and sit back, lengthening that right leg out. Slowly get into this pose. Right leg is long in front of you, left knee is bent. You've got hip distance or maybe just a little bit wider for your knees, and these props are right behind you. So walk your hands, once you're here, walk your hands behind you so you can recline into a comfortable heart opener. Right leg is long, left knee is comfortably bent, and your arms are out overhead. You're laying on your most fluffy pillows. You can close your eyes and settle into a internal state of awareness. Your heart is open. Sometimes a good heart opening pose can remind you to be carefree and to be open-hearted. Let's come out of the pose. Planting the arms, pressing your arms down to come back up. Walk your hands all the way over to the right side. So the long leg side. Free up that left knee and lengthen that left leg long. Go to the other side, taking your body weight to the left to bend the right knee. Situate yourself so that you're right up against these pillows that you have. And again, you might have a wider hip distance, depending on your level of flexibility. So find yourself sitting right in front of those props and then lying down to a comfortable stretch for that right quad. If this is uncomfortable at all, come out of the pose. This should feel like a really good stretch. And your arms can be overhead to really invite that heart opening sensation. If you find yourself having a thought, just be aware of it for now. Follow your breath back to the present moment. Coming out of this pose, use your arms pressing down to lift back up. Take your body all the way over to the left side to free up that right leg, lengthen the right leg, and bring it forward. Now let's draw the left knee in, using some of those same props that you have behind you. Maybe it's just a pillow or 2. We're going to move into Janu Shirshasana. So I don't know if I mentioned, the sole of the left foot will meet the inner right thigh. Left knee is bent, right leg is long. And you can actually flex at this right ankle to enjoy or to enhance the stretch. Let's inhale, reach through the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, you can bow into a comfortable forward fold. And use as many props as you need to. Perhaps you've got 5 pillows in front of you, that's perfectly fine. Come to a comfortable forward fold. Enjoy one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, plant hands down to lift up. You can leave your props, but you'll want to exchange your legs, extending the left leg long, right leg bent. So the right sole of the foot is on the inner left thigh. And you're going to reach the crown of the head toward your left leg, so you might move the props to align with your left leg. So first, find the length in your spine, reach up through the crown of the head. Then as you exhale, bow into a comfortable forward fold. Honoring your left leg. This might be elbows on pillows, maybe your thumbs on your third eye. Whatever pose feels right. Take a few more breaths. Let's come out of this pose. Put your props aside, but keep them fairly handy. Let's move into one wide angle forward fold. So choose your prop. I think I'll just use blocks for this, but you could easily use those pillows. Maybe if you have a couch cushion or a big bolster or something like that at home, that'd be great. Find yourself sitting forward on your sits bones. Activate the ankles and then start to hinge forward at the hips. So coming into whatever variation of this forward fold you need. And let's take 5 breaths. Let's come out of the pose, pressing your hands down to lift your body back up. Let's put the props aside. We're going to move into Setu-Bandhasana. We're going to move into bridge pose. Let's scoop the knees up together. I'm going to give you the side view of this. And let's have your fluffiest blanket or fluffiest pillow. Here I'm using a bolster, so maybe something that gives you a good 8 or 9 inches of comfortable elevation. So bridge pose, your feet are at hip distance. Draw your knees into an acute angle. Knees are at hip distance, and then we'll lay over the bolster and we'll roll or move the bolster or blankets so that you can create this perfect bridge pose. So again, it feels like bridge pose, but it's very modified. You're not doing any of the work to make this pose happen. So feet are hip distance, big toes point forward so that you know your feet are parallel. You can relax your core here. You still have this heart opening sensation that you normally do in your bridge pose. But you can relax here into this restorative version of Setu-Bandhasana. So take a couple more breaths. So while we're here, explore the idea of lifting one leg at a time. Maybe lifting both legs. And if it's available, moving into a modified halasana, plow pose. Slowly, gracefully coming out of this pose. So you'll kind of lift up and get out of the pose the way you got in. Let's put props aside. So because we did some back bending, some heart opening in this kind of like fun-loving yoga practice, have pillows or something like that under the knees when we go into Shavasana. So we're about to find our final relaxation. Give yourself the length of your mat. Placing, I'm going to use my pillows, some pillows at the front of your mat. And let the legs be out wider than hip distance, resting the outer heel to the mat. You'll lay down like a starfish. Your palms open to the sky. So if you haven't yet, maybe you cue some relaxing music. You can feel free to hit pause on this video and hang out in your Shavasana for as long as you like. And while you rest here in Shavasana, scan your body just as you did before, scanning for any areas of comfort or discomfort, breathing into the areas that feel uncomfortable so that you can truly relax and feel as your body is melting into the mat. So hit pause on this video, relax in your Shavasana for as long as you like. And when you're ready, you can come back to a comfortable sitting posture. Take a few breaths sitting in your lotus pose. We tried new things. We explored new variations of yoga poses. We peeled back some of the aspects of what fun looks like at the very core of your being. So embrace that joy and happiness that you find in every present moment. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up high, let your palms touch above you. And exhale as you bring your palms to your heart. Thank you so much for practicing meditation and restorative yoga with me. Namaste. So thank you again for pressing play. Thank you so much for joining this class. Please do tune in tomorrow to see Jules Felipe with her bar class and Chris with the high intensity training. Namaste.